Hello my lovelies, welcome back to the channel. This is Kamaria and we are doing another one of my mid-year flip throughs, but I'm just doing it a little different. We're going to do the mid-year freakout tag, which if you don't know, in the booktube community, there is a tag where it just asks you questions. I don't remember who the original creator is, but it has been going around for a while, and a lot of people in the booktube, bookish community will answer questions about their reading year. So I thought, as I'm flipping through my journal, my reading journal, I will kind of go over some of those questions. But so far, I'm having an okay reading year. So at the beginning of the journal, I have all my yearly spreads. So whatever challenges I want to do, I have a bingo. I want to read the world. I have a Books in Lala challenge, the buzzword challenge. So I have a few things that I like to track, like how many books I read. Right now, I'm at 91, and that was at the end of July. And my goal is usually always 100, but I always usually go over that. I read a lot. It's my thing. Some people watch TV. I read books. So these are my yearly kind of stats that I have in the beginning, and then I delineate, separate it by month, what books I read. I'll usually have a wrap-up page, my favorites and some stats because I'm a nerd. And then I'll go through and have a page for each book. So I started out trying to do one for each book, a collage for each book, and I was like, nah, tain't happening. Okay. And so then I just did my favorites. So this was the first few questions. So the best book I've read so far in the year was actually happened in July. It's Symphony of Secrets. It's kind of like a musical mystery. Then the second one was the best sequel, which was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I read those books out of order. So I actually read the sequel first, and then I had to go back and find the first one, but it's really good. It's a romance about two people who fall in love through letters, and it's pretty awesome. Third question was your favorite reread, which was Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao. It's literally so good. I read it again because the second one is supposed to come out. The sequel it was supposed to be out already, but it keeps getting delayed. So we might get it in December, or we might get it in 2025. I don't know anymore. It's just really good. It's it's got mecha, and it's mechs. It's kind of like Pacific Rim, but feminist, but in China. It's really, really good. And then favorite genre so far is romance. I'm a romance girly. Any kind of romance, paranormal romance, supernatural romance, contemporary romance, gay romance. I'm all about the romance. I will say that some of the questions, it was really hard for me to find the official tag questions, because every video I looked at, all the questions were a little different. So I tried to go with the ones that most people did. So we're in February now. And February was a blackout, so I think I read all Black authors this month, and I do the Blackathon hosted by Jess on YouTube. And there were prompts and stuff, and I did all of them. So only for the week had my romance boyfriend, my favorite, my book boyfriend. But all right, so our second batch of questions is a new release I haven't read yet, and that's the third in the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. Then what's upcoming release in the second half of the year. Hopefully we get Heavenly Tyrant, the book I just talked about, the Pacific Rim but feminist and in China. Its sequel is supposed to come out this year, so hopefully we get that. Biggest disappointment was probably the next book in the Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire. They're like portal fantasy, so each book you go through a door into a new world like Narnia. But and it was supposed to be good, like they were in a dinosaur world, but it was kind of like a continuation of one of the other books. So it felt kind of disjointed and I just didn't like it. And I wanted it to be good and it wasn't. And this was my biggest surprise before I let go, because I had avoided this book for so long because it was like super, super popular and like it was a book talk phenomenon, blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't want, sometimes I don't like to read books that are like super popular, everybody's talking about, but it surprised me. Because I didn't think I was going to like it, and I ended up loving it. I've read a couple of books by the author, Kennedy Ryan, and every book I've read by her I like, so. So we're in April. April, I did like a manga challenge, so it looks like I read a lot of books, but half of them were comics, so take that for a grain of salt, reading 20 books in a month. I believe, yeah, this is the month I read my favorite sequel of the year, which is Yours Truly, which was all letters. So that's why I did a collage that had like envelopes and stamps and stuff. It was really cute. And I liked it a lot. I really like this book, The Soul Let It Burn. It was Jamaican inspired and there are dragons. And I know everybody and their mom liked Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, but I could not read that book. It was terrible. For me, the writing wasn't good, and everybody loved it, and I had to, like, DNF it. Like, I did not finish. So that book was a way better book about dragons. And there was romance, and it was sapphic, and a sister bond, found family, and dragons, and everybody's black. So, yay. I believe May was a hard month for me because my husband got hurt in that month, so I didn't really read a lot. I read like in the first couple weeks and then just stopped reading because I, was taking care of a man with a brain injury. So June is always my favorite month because you read a lot of, I read a lot of LGBT books anyway, but this was fun because there was a readathon hosted by Rogan and Catherine, and there were prompts and a little bingo, and it was nice. I did end up reading quite a bit this month as well. I think 16 books, actually. There are 16 prompts, 16 books, so there you go. I think, get really lazy as far as, like, my collaging this month. I actually just went in my Canva and made, like, little collages and just printed them out instead of trying to hunt and do, like, the whole 9. So that's when I just kind of cheated and just kind of made a collage in Canva for my 2 favorite books of this month. But this book, the Part of Your World book, was a book I should have read first. I read this series out of order, but oh well. I like them both. So, and I think one of the other questions from the mid-year freakout tag is what book anticipated read that you need to get to still, and that's the 3rd book in the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. I am finding that I just like everything she writes, so it's nice when you find an author that you like because you just can read all their books, and it's great. This is July, and I did a challenge by one of my favorite booktubers, and that's Brie over at Locked Booktition. She does Blackoween every year, and she had like a kind of a Halloween in July kind of thing. This is my favorite book of the year, The Symphony of Secrets. It's like a musical thriller mystery. It takes place in 2 different timelines, present and like future, but like the 1920s jazz era. And it's basically about a guy who is looking at one of his favorite like music composers and found out that he probably stole all of his music from a black woman who was disabled. She was autistic. I just related to this book so much because one of the characters was autistic, and it's music, which music is my special interest. I sing, my whole family, we're all musicians. So it's so good. My favorite of the year so far, for sure. The next set of questions. New to me author is, my new favorite is Abby Jimenez. She's great so far. My book boyfriend of the year is Rome from Only for the Week. He was just super wonderful to the female main character, and I would love to have him as a boyfriend if I wasn't already married. But he's just super supportive of her, lets her read her books, and takes care of her and stuff. Favorite character, that's the book, a girl named Josephine Reed from my favorite book. She was autistic, and she saw like everything she heard she could like make into music, and that's really cool. And I'm just kind of showing you some more of my favorite spreads and books from the year, and we'll do our last round of questions. So a book that made me cry was a play that I read called The Normal Heart, and it's basically about the AIDS epidemic in the 1980s and how a whole bunch of gay people were dying and nobody cared. Government didn't care, nobody cared. And, you know, I have so many gay friends. I'm bisexual, you know, so that got pulled on my heartstrings and I cried. A book that made me happy was Feybound. I love that book. It's Black Fairies. The end. That's all I need to say. Black Fairies. And it's world building great, storytelling great, everything Feybound. This book. So good. So good. A book that I need to read before the end of the year, and that's The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve-Dew. I've tried to read this book like 3 times, and it's not because I don't like her writing or don't like the story. I just was not in the mood for it, but I really want to read it by the end of the year. And then those are just some, and then it said which are your, like some of your favorite book community members. My favorite booktubers, Kayla over at Books and Lala, Bree over at Locked Booktition. I like Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany. And then I just got into a new one. I think it's Babby Reads Books. But anyway, that's the flip through. That's the tag. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.